Pickle, hit the air sign time for Monday morning. Monday morning follow-up, of course, when we overreact to the football weekend. And there is plenty to overreact to this week. A lot. Start with our 3 big thoughts. Thought number 1, scary shakeups. See, get it? Spooky mom.
Ooh.
Aaron was doing that. So many ghost puns. It's terrible.
Heck yeah.
So week 10 of the Texas high school football season has come and gone, and it felt like they wanted to throw us for one last loop before we got into the playoffs. Because there were some major shakeups.
Oh yeah.
Now obviously the one that a lot of people are talking about is Prosper beating Allen, which kind of came out of left field. I'll be honest. That was a game that was kind of on our radar, but on like the periphery.
We thought that was going to happen last year. Is what we thought about.
Exactly. And we'll talk with Brandon Schmidt coming up here in a moment. But that's a game where they have been close but no cigar. There were other ones that went about how we thought. North Shore beating a Task Cedar 31-21, I thought was an impressive win. But where you saw a lot of chaos, I think, was in 5A. With a couple of them. One of them, which may have flown under your radar because it was a Thursday night affair. McKinney North beats Longview 37-35, which drops Longview to 6-3 on the year. That's relatively shocking and may, in fact, give us a little bit more clarity on what the Region 2 and 5A Division 1 is going to look like. Same thing goes with what happened in the Coastal Bend. Corpus Christi Flower Bluff not just beats Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Yeah. They beat them 39-7. It's previously unbeaten Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. And I can't help but wonder now, all right, in 5A Division 1, who's going to come out of that right side of the bracket? Because the other thing we saw was Manville beating Katy Pato. Yeah. Right? 33-28.
And we had kind of really bought in on Pato at that point.
We had. Yeah. And so now, is there a favorite on that right side of the bracket, right? I think all of these teams at least have shown flaws. And it is a bizarre situation there on that right side of the bracket. The same thing kind of goes, I would say, on the 3A Division 1 side. This might have, again, another thing that might have flown under people's radar. Edna beat Vanderbilt Industrial.
And that really shakes up Region 4.
And Columbus beat Hallettsville, which is, that whole district is nuts.
Watch out for the line of Yellow Jackets.
And so that one's crazy. And then what do you make of West beating Grandview? Now West was a team we thought was pretty good. Obviously, they were 8-0 entering the game. But a gritty, gutty win for the Trojans to beat Grandview. What does that do to 3A Division 1, and especially there on that in that Region 2? That's something that certainly is going to be very, very interesting to keep an eye on going forward. And then, as if that weren't enough, Canadian loses to Tulia.
Yeah, breaking that streak, too.
Breaking that long winning streak. They hadn't lost a district all the games since 2012. Tulia beats them, and again, not just beats them, 54-35, like resoundingly. Now, from what I understand, Canadian's dealing with a lot of injuries right now. But you play the game there in front of you, and by the way, Canadian better get right. They get Childress coming up this week.
Yeah, that's never an easy one.
Yeah, it is a rather remarkably kind of strange week of games, a spooky group of results.
Ooh.
Thought number 2, at last, clarity. We're not going to talk, this is where we talk college football, we're not going to talk about the coaching changes. We're going to save that for a segment at the end of the show. So if you're here for Gary Patterson talk,
we'll be there.
Wait. I think that now, 9 weeks into the Texas college football season, I think we have a little bit of clarity on some things. I think it's fair to say that Houston's really good.
Yes.
They played the game of the year against SMU. That's the game of the year. We can all stop trying. That's the game of the year.
Yes.
That's better than every game that's been played. Houston and SMU was the game of the year. I think it's pretty clear that Houston's pretty darn good. I think it's pretty darn clear that Baylor's pretty darn good.
Yep. No kidding.
A great win, a gutty comeback win over Texas. And they are 7-1 and looking like a team. Now, they've still got Oklahoma on the horizon, and that's not going to be fun. But a 10-win season is certainly not out of the realm of possibility, and certainly in a position, depending on if Oklahoma State drops into their game, to potentially play for a Big 12 title. I also think we now know that Texas State has hit rock bottom. What their loss to Louisiana, I thought was resounding and disappointing.
Yes. They didn't even get garbage time points.
I think it's fair to say that both Rice and North Texas are no good.
Dude, they tried everything in their power to lose that game.
That was a gross game.
It was so bad.
It was very gross.
Like, we joked about it being the Sicko Bowl, and it was almost too sick to watch.
It was gross. Very gross. And then, and so yeah, I think that we know Texas A&M didn't play. We're pretty good. We're pretty sure Texas A&M is pretty good. Although they're, I don't know. I still have some questions just basically because of the quarterback consistency issue. But obviously they are pretty darn good. They're nationally ranked and for good reason. That is, to me, this is the first time that we've been able to say a lot of these things like clearly and when feeling good about it. That's thought number 2. Thought number 3, do or die. I went through last night, and I count up, and this was thanks, we had a couple of additions from our friend Tony Blaylock and Brandon McAuliffe to this, but I counted up a grand total of 27 UIL Texas high school football games this weekend that are, no lie, no frills, straight up playoff games. Okay? In the sense that there's no tiebreakers needed. The winner
goes to the
playoffs. The loser
goes home.
Is out. We've got 27 of them. Okay? Some of them are ones that you probably that maybe are flying under your radar. The Colony and Frisco Reedy is a win and in game. Comfort and Luling, right? Capello and Flower Mound is a win and in game, right? A lot of them the 6-man ranks too. There's 2 districts, by the way, the ones that I missed that Brandon and Tony brought up to me. Those are ones where there are 2 of them in the same district. District 3, 2A, Division 2. Stanford and Haskell and Anson and Colorado City are both straight-up playoff games.
That's wild.
In the same district. Same thing goes with, I would need to look up what district this is in, Colmes, Neal, and Cushing and West Sabine and Mount Enterprise.
Okay.
4 teams, 2 playoff spots. Those are play-in games.
Right.
That's what they are. And so for many teams, for these, I guess, 26 times 2, 52 teams, the playoffs start this week.
Yeah.
Like, it's do or die. The great thing we love about Texas high school football playoffs is it is finite, and it is you either perform or you go home.
Yeah, there's no room for error.
For almost every team, that starts next week. For these teams, it starts this week, and that's what makes this week particularly interesting. Those are 3 big thoughts. 3 helmet stickers. A helmet sticker to Bruni, quarterback and defensive back, Albert Esquivel. Okay, we're talking 2A here. And he put on an absolute show in this one. Bruni quarterback and defensive back, Albert Esquivel, 12 carries, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing, 47 passing yards, 10 tackles, and an interception. A little bit of everything for Albert Esquivel. A helmet sticker to Texas Southern quarterback Andrew Body. Have you seen what they've been doing?
Oh yeah. They put in Andrew Body.
They put it. Yeah.
That's
Andrew Body. And suddenly they're winning games. They beat up on Arkansas Pine Bluff 59-17. Remember, coming into the season, they had not won a game since 2018 on the field.
Yeah.
And now they're 3-5.
Our Corpus Christi King got let loose.
And he was spectacular. I want to make sure I pull up, give him his individual due. He goes 16 of 25, 271 yards, and 4 touchdowns passing. He also ran for 121 yards and a score.
If he can keep doing this, they're going to build a statue. He's got plenty of years left.
He is like single-handedly reviving that program.
Yeah.
And a helmet sticker to post running back and linebacker Stephen Huff. We haven't talked a ton about post. It's been a tough year for the Bold Gold, but big game for Stephen Huff. 27 carries, 333 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground, 4 tackles, and 6 pass breakups. Great game for Stephen Huff there at post. 3 teams to watch, Dripping Springs.
How about that?
It was a battle of unbeatens between them and Buda Johnson. And we were wondering, all right, what exactly is this team is going to shake out here? And Dripping Springs goes out there, and they did the thing where they were just like, what if we just score every time?
Yeah.
The offense
Wouldn't
is fantastic.
Wouldn't it be a shame if?
and we talked about this on Scoreboard. If that defense is going to play like that, because that's a good Buda Johnson offense.
Yeah.
They held them to 7 points. If that, and I believe it was in garbage time, basically. If that defense is going to play like that, you know, we were talking about 5A Division I, that right side of the bracket?
Oh, yeah. There's your clear-cut favorite.
Maybe they are. If their defense is going to play like that, it's impressive. Incarnate Word got a good win over Houston Baptist. And by the way, comes word from Matt Brown reporter Matt Brown, who says that that on Tuesday the WAC is going to vote to add Incarnate Word and McNeese State. So keep an eye on Incarnate Word, not only what they're doing on the field, but also potentially what's going on off the field. And finally, Odem. Odem beats Hebbronville to finish 10-0. There's a number of these teams. In fact, there were. Let me see if I can find the thing. I did a tweet about this, but there are, I believe, only a handful of teams that are right now undefeated. The whole thing, yeah. At the moment, there's 7 teams in all of Texas football who are 10-0 and done and got the Week 11 bye. Edinburgh-Vela, Franklin, Odem, Jonesboro, Hermleigh, Episcopal School of Dallas, and Waco Live Oak. That's the list. 7 of them. Odem, keep an eye on those owls. 3 to see, 3 games this week. We get Lake Travis and Westlake finally.
Yeah.
We finally decided to dial that one up. It is a huge game. It's a game that means everything and nothing.
Yeah.
It's a huge rivalry game. These two teams they're all pent up. They're all anxious to get up and beat each other up. And I mean, we saw it at State 7-on-7.
I was going to say, you could see the energy flow in there of, ooh, here we go.
Yeah, there's a little energy there. That said, there's nothing on the line except for a district championship. I mean, except for a district championship. But they are.
I can guarantee you the bragging rights almost mean more to those teams than.
There's no playoff implications in this game, but because they're going to different brackets. But certainly a lot on the line there. Lake Travis and Westlake. The big game of the week is UTSA and UTEP. Poor UTEP.
Man, I was so hoping that we could rally to get College Game Day to go there.
Instead, do you see where they're going? They're in Cincinnati.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, and it lined up so perfectly on a week where they were probably going to drop down and do more of a G5 type of thing anyway. It's like, oh, man.
Anyway, it's still a huge game out there in El Paso, UTSA and UTEP.
I think Craven will be out there.
Yeah, for likely the Conference USA West crown.
Yep.
Likely. And finally, Hawley and Forsan. Another battle of unbeatens that may be off your radar, but this game is really interesting going on down there at Buffalo Stadium. Really excited to see what Forsan can do against literally the best defense in the state in Hawley. Be a lot of fun. Those are 3 to see. That's Monday Morning Fallout.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.